Would you risk a child's life on an untested experiment if it meant possibly saving the world? In 1796, one doctor did exactly that. His gamble would unleash humanity's most powerful defense against disease, yet ignite suspicion and rebellion that still echo today. By the 18th century, smallpox was the age's most feared killer. It claimed 400,000 European lives every year, blinded many survivors, and devastated indigenous communities across the Americas. Doctors turned to variolation, deliberately infecting healthy people with smallpox to trigger immunity. It sometimes worked, but often killed. It was fire against fire. Edward Jenner wondered if cowpox, a far milder disease, could offer protection. In 1796, he cut into the arm of 8-year-old James Phipps with cowpox matter. Weeks later, he exposed the boy to smallpox. The moment was perilous. Would the boy live or die? He lived. Jenner repeated the experiment more than 20 times, proving immunity. He named the process vaccination, from vacca, Latin for cow. But ridicule followed. Cartoons showed patients sprouting horns. Clergy thundered about defying God. Even James, though healthy, later resented being used as Jenner's test subject. Jenner gifted him a cottage, a gesture heavy with both gratitude and guilt. If Jenner stumbled on immunity by chance, Louis Pasteur would bend nature itself to human will. Louis Pasteur revolutionized medicine with the germ theory of disease, the revelation that invisible microbes, not miasmas, caused illness. He discovered how to weaken microbes, a process called attenuation, turning them into safe vaccines. In 1881, he staged a public anthrax trial. Vaccinated sheep lived, unvaccinated ones died before a crowd of farmers and journalists. It was science as spectacle and victory. His greatest gamble came in 1885. 9-year-old Joseph Meister, bitten by a rabid dog, faced certain death. Rabies meant madness and agony. Pasteur, not even a licensed physician, injected the boy with 13 doses of his experimental vaccine. If Joseph died, Pasteur could face charges, but Joseph lived. Pasteur became a hero, though some accused him of tampering with forces beyond human control. But as vaccines spread, they ignited a new battle, not in the lab, but in the streets. In Britain, compulsory vaccination laws began in 1853. To many, they promised safety. To others, they symbolized tyranny. By 1879, the Anti-Vaccination League led rallies and published grotesque cartoons of children sprouting cowheads. Protests grew violent. Parents hid children from inspectors. Eventually, Parliament relented. In 1898, Britain allowed, conscientious objector, exemptions, one of the first recognitions of individual medical choice. Beyond Britain, resistance spread across Europe and America, fueled by the same tensions between personal freedom and collective safety. In some towns, anti-vaccination marches drew thousands, with banners proclaiming "No state medicine" and "Our children are not experiments." Courtrooms overflowed with challenges to fines and jail time. What began as a medical debate had grown into a cultural war over who controlled the body, the individual, the family, or the state. It was a victory for liberty, but also a warning. Public health could not advance without public trust. In 1998, Andrew Wakefield published a fraudulent study linking the MMR vaccine to autism. The paper was later retracted, but the damage was done. Vaccination rates collapsed in some areas, measles surged, and children died from what should have been preventable disease. Then COVID-19 arrived. Within a year of sequencing the virus's genetic code, scientists delivered mRNA vaccines, which teach cells to mimic part of the virus and train immunity. Far from being a snap invention, those vaccines rested on decades of prior research in molecular biology and immunology. On December 8, 2020, in England, 90-year-old Margaret Keenan became the first person outside a trial to receive the COVID vaccine. The best early birthday present, she called it. Her smile became a beacon of hope in a fearful world. Yet backlash came fast. Protests erupted globally, with some viewing vaccines as saviors and others as instruments of control, distrust, or corporate overreach. In the last 2 years, the tension has only intensified. In 2025, the US experienced a measles outbreak across the Southwest, with more than 1,200 confirmed cases and 3 deaths in under-vaccinated communities. This resurgence of a disease once declared eliminated underscores how fragile herd immunity can be. In Florida, medical students and public health advocates recently took to the streets to protest the state government's move to repeal school vaccine mandates, calling the reversal dangerous and irresponsible. Meanwhile, vaccine hesitancy has metastasized into institutions. Several CDC officials resigned in protest over shifting policies and fears of politicization, raising alarm that trust in public health infrastructure itself is eroding. These events show that this conflict is not historical. It's very much alive. The needle is still at the center of a raging debate. If vaccines conquered plagues, why can't they conquer fear? Jenner gave us the first shield. Pasteur gave us the science. Their work culminated in 1980, when the World Health Organization declared smallpox eradicated, the only human disease ever wiped from the earth. And yet, the paradox remains. Vaccines can silence viruses, but not suspicion. They can conquer smallpox, but not doubt. Every injection carries more than medicine. It carries history, freedom, and the fragile choice between fear and trust. So ask yourself this: are vaccines truly about science, or about us? Our fears, our freedoms, our willingness to embrace the very knowledge that saved us. The plagues of Jenner's time are gone, but the battle over vaccines, that, it seems, is a disease without cure.